You want to know how you can truly establish Solo Sikoa and make him a beast? Some of y'all ain't gonna like this. Some of y'all really not gonna like this actually, but I'm gonna tell you how to do it in my mind. You know what? I'll say there's two ways you can do this. You could either have Solo win Money in the Bank, which I do think he is a big favorite to win the Money in the Bank. I just really do. And then you could have him cash in on Cody later and become champion and bring the title back to this new version of the bloodline. But I think there's a bigger and badder way that you can do it. And like I said, some of y'all really ain't gonna like this, but to me, I think really Solo Sikoa is up next, man. I think he's got a bright future. So, man, what I think you could do with Solo Sikoa to really, and I mean truly establish him like that dude for real, he establishes this new version of the bloodline with Tamatonga, Tongaloa, and everything, and they make sure this new bloodline is, you know, a faction that is a force to be reckoned with. You know what I mean? Probably even more than you could say the OG bloodline. Like, you really need to establish this group right here with Tamatanga Solo and Tungaloa and then Paul Heyman alongside them as well. You need to really establish this new bloodline as something meaningful. Once you do that, Roman Reigns obviously comes back into the picture and he's, trying to take command again. But then Solo's not having that because Roman lost the championship at WrestleMania. So, in his mind, he's not tribal chief anymore. You lost the title anymore. You lost that privilege. You had that privilege and you were great at it for a while, but now that privilege no longer is to you. And Roman Reigns has even said out of his own mouth, you can go find the footage yourself on YouTube. YouTube is free. You can go see it yourself. Roman Reigns said on SmackDown that the next guy to lead the next tribal era and be the next tribal chief was who? Solo Sikoa. Now you have these two alpha males within the family butting heads with Roman coming back trying to take charge again, and Solo's like, no, we're not doing that. I'm in charge now. I'm the new tribal chief. But he really has to earn that right. Solo has to do something that can really establish him to get the Ulafala to make him the tribal chief like Roman did. When Roman first, was starting that tribal chief gimmick, he wanted the family to acknowledge him, more so Jey Uso, because that's who he really feuded with. And Jey refused to do it, and then he had to beat and punish that guy time and time again, even punish his brother a little bit, for them to finally look around and say, you know what, Roman is that tribal chief. And then we saw after that Hell in a Cell match that was incredible, Roman's uncle and his father putting the Ulafala around him to establish him as the tribal chief. And that's when Roman really was like, becoming the one. For Solo to become tribal chief, to me, he has to go through Roman Reigns. Roman had that right, and if Roman's going to come back and still claim that right, and Solo wants that, he's got to go through, Roman Reigns. And they've been teasing Roman and Solo kind of clashing for over a year now, pretty much. They've had little segments and little teases where Solo's kind of staring at Roman like, he wants to Samoan spike him or something, or he's looking at the Ulafala like he wants that, title. He wants that ring. And, Roman has said that is coming for Solo and everything, so it's bound to happen. I think they're going to clash at some point. How earth-shattering would it be if Solo Sikoa beats Roman Reigns in tribal combat to become the real tribal chief now, like the established tribal chief? Because let's be honest, if they had that match on paper, if you had Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa advertised right now in front of your face for tribal combat, wherever it would be, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, whatever, right? If you saw this advertised right in front of your face, how many of y'all really would think Roman Reigns would lose that match for real, for real? But imagine if he did lose. He did lose, and Solo Sikoa beats Roman to establish himself now. And now you're like, oh my gosh, Solo really is now tribal chief. He's that guy now. And Roman Reigns, like, what does that mean next for him? Wrestling's all about giving back at some point. Roman Reigns has established his legacy so much during that run that he had. He beat so many people during that run, and, it was just having the run of a lifetime that you really only could dream about. But I think now it's really time for Roman to really give back now, because that's what all greats do at some point. All greats have their peak and have their run at the top, but eventually they have to give back to help create other stars and help, contribute to giving back to the business that has gave so much to them. And to me, there's no bigger way to establish Solo if he were to beat Roman Reigns in tribal combat, become the real tribal chief, and then go after Cody Rhodes for the championship and beat Cody Rhodes for the championship, because I still think Solo Sikoa is the favorite to beat Cody Rhodes for the championship. I just don't think some people really see it. And I know some people ain't gonna like what I'm saying right now. I'm telling y'all not gonna like what I'm saying, but I really think Solo Sikoa is really up next, man. Like, I really think he that dude. And I think, it probably won't go down in the fashion that I'm saying, but if you truly wanted to establish him like that guy, if he were to beat Roman in tribal combat and then go bring the title back to the bloodline by taking down Cody Rhodes, and now he was that guy. And obviously he won't go on the run that Roman did as champion. Nobody could fill the shoes that Roman did as champion and possibly even come close to doing what he did as champion when he had that championship. But I mean, if he took tribal combat and then Samoan spiked Roman, beat him, and then Samoan spiked Cody Rhodes and took that title from him, and now he was like that dude, man, that instantly put Solo Sikoa up there in the atmosphere as like, nah, he's him. And I think that adds a lot of shock value that some people feel like WWE has been missing, or, you know, some things that WWE could use, because you always see that it's too predictable, it's too predictable. But predictable isn't always bad in wrestling. I never understood that logic for some people. Predictable isn't always bad. But sometimes things do need to be unpredictable. And nobody can tell me if Roman Reigns was to fight Solo in Tribal Combat that people would actually think Solo would win. Like, if there was a betting poll, most people I think would really bet Roman Reigns would be the favorite to win. And then if he were to fight Cody for the championship, I don't even know if people would even still believe that Solo would beat Cody for the title. But it all adds from a storyline perspective. Cody Rhodes, you know, over a year ago said that Solo Sikoa wasn't ready, and he ended Solo Sikoa's undefeated streak. And then time, you know, has gone by, and then Solo has progressively now gotten better with this new Bloodline version. Roman Reigns said he was going to be the next Tribal Chief. He took that from Roman Reigns now to really be the Tribal Chief and beat him in Tribal Combat. And then he goes back to prove to Cody Rhodes, now I'm ready. Maybe I wasn't ready a year ago, yeah, but I'm ready now. And then beats Cody Rhodes to become the champion. Listen, it all unfolds in the storyline, and then Solo could lead that new bloodline, because eventually we're going to get the OG bloodline versus the new bloodline. But now he's leading the new bloodline as the guy. They acknowledge him as the tribal chief because they believe in his vision. Now he's championing everything. Solo's reigning supreme. That truly, honestly makes Solo Sikoa a top tier beast right there. And like I said, some of y'all ain't gonna like it, and that's cool. I still think there are people who don't see the vision for Solo or still don't believe in him. They're still calling him the thumb merchant and everything, and they still don't believe he's that dude, or he's believable enough to be that dude. I'm not saying he'll be the face of the WWE. He won't have that title, obviously, but I still think there are some people who are kind of doubting him, and I see the vision. I've always saw the vision with him. You know, I just understood he went from the Street Fighter to the Enforcer, so his role changed when he got in the Bloodline because they needed him to have a different role to be the Enforcer, and that's what he did, and he makes it believable. But now that he's taken over the Bloodline now and wants to become that guy, there's little baby steps he has to do to truly get there, and if he takes even those steps that I mentioned right there, that instantly puts him at the top, you know, to like be that guy. And then I think people would finally see the vision and, you know, acknowledge him as that new tribal chief. Some of y'all ain't gonna like it, but it all adds up from a story perspective to me, and it wouldn't be out of this ordinary if that actually happened to me, because I honestly could really get into that story and I could believe Solo could do those things.